Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is with an abiding sense of honor that I welcome the Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of External Affairs, Smt Meenakashi Lekhi, to the 2023 edition of the Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue. The Honorable Minister of State is a very distinguished and deeply respected political icon of India, who brings with her a wealth of experience, dedication to her role. Known for her articulate advocacy and commitment to public service, Smt Meenakashi Lekhi has played a significant role in shaping and contributing to India's foreign policies. We are indeed honored that she has taken time out from her extremely busy schedule to grace the IPRD with her presence. And I'm, of course, acutely aware that you all are keen to listen to the Honorable Minister and not to me. So, without any further ado, may I now invite the Honorable Minister to enrich us with her remarks.
Thank you very much, and my apologies for being late. There was another program I was stuck with. Admiral Hari Kumarji, Admiral Pradeep Chauhanji, Admiral Karambirji, Vibhaji, ladies and gentlemen, pleasure and honor being here. And I know it's been a tough day for you since morning, but it's an important dialogue which we all need to engage in. And if Indo-Pacific was not so important, none of us would be here, and nobody in the world would constantly be talking about it. And the fact is that this region, through the history, has been very, very important. Most militarized zone also in the world, starting from eastern flank of Africa to the western flank of Americas. Region houses about 64% of global population and more than 60% of GDP, global GDP. So the importance of this region lies in its expanse, and the centrality of subject lies in the criticality of subject. It is central to discuss this because it is the critical mass which decides where our civilization is going to be in coming years. And for this reason, we are all here, and coming from a civilization which takes pride in its old maritime history, the ancient most civilization to have the maritime history in the world, and the global connectivity which we discussed today was far more evident in the past. But unfortunately, due to the circumstances whichever were prevalent at that point in time, this connectivity also got scarce, and the maritime, I should use the word connectivity of India also reduced. And thus, bringing the focus back to the connectivity, bringing the focus back to the competence of Indians who were running the trade, who were connecting, and who were housing civilization after civilization, lies the maritime trade routes, lie the civilizational exchanges which happened on this trade route, from cultural exchanges to religious exchanges to trade and economic cooperation. That's what we saw in the past. But we also saw the militarization, and militarization changed it all. But I always believe that coming from a very, very Indian perspective, the timelines are not what 300, 400, 200 years have to offer. Timelines are, for Indians, few century BC to the time after that. And fortunately for us, the geography hasn't changed much in these times, while the civilization and national boundaries have changed. And it is the national boundaries which have changed, and thus the focus needs to be on how the rule-based order needs to prevail. We are all familiar with UN UNCLOS, which is what we say the laws of the seas. And these laws of the seas were meant because these were all made nations coming together. But nations decided to make laws for themselves. And as is true of any law, this is true of UN UNCLOS also, that there will be people, there will be countries who would try to find ways and means to disrupt the legal mechanisms. And that disruption could be by man-made islands, changing SEZs, getting into some other zones, and we, in our local language, I'm sure it's true of all countries, we call it encroachment. And that kind of encroachment happens in the seas also, in the oceans also. And we have witnessed that kind of hawking taking place even in Indo-Pacific and Indian Ocean as well. So Indo-Pacific, because the geography is so very vital and so very important, not only because of the population, as the population and GDP has to bear in mind, it is basically the number of ships passing by. It's, to my knowledge, 160,000 ships, of 146,000 ships which are passing by. 66% of global oil trade, 50% of global container ships, 33% of cargo traffic. Now, this is one framework, and this framework is basically the framework in which the focus is on economy. But human beings need something more than just economy. Economy is a very important pillar and limb, but in addition to economy, or for any economy to do well, secure conditions have to be there. So security is as important, as deeply connected with growth and prosperity, and there comes Indian Navy and all navies of the world. All the countries which are littoral countries, and many a times even landlocked countries, because even for their trade route, this region needs to be secured. And this region needs to be secure for many